Hello folks, present day Damien here, welcoming you back to the truck. In a few seconds we're going to be letting Damien of the past walk you through what we've been doing over the past month. But the good news is our truck is now fully road legal, which means we can be doing truck things very soon. So enough of me from now. Let's show you what some of the fun that Damien of the past had to do in order to become Damien of the present, which for you will be the past. This is all very complex. Hello folks, welcome to the truck channel. In today's fun-packed episode, this box apparently contains me, and I cost €302, and I have to apply myself to the truck. So the truck has just gone through its first CVRT, or commercial vehicle roadworthiness test, for the first time since being converted, and for the first time in a good few years. And needless to say, we have some problems that need fixing. So as our friends at Junkyard Digs would say, I heart drum brakes. Well, I seriously don't. So the first thing is, this one is not braking as efficiently, but that's not the really fun part. The really fun part lies in here. Yes, let's see if we can work our way in. I'm sure the eagle-eyed amongst you are already spotting it. Oh yes. Long-time sponsor of the channel, Rust, has really outdone itself this time, because actually kind of sent me for a bit of a spin as well, because I think it would have been doing the old structural corrosion on the chassis, but no, it has sneaked its way into the rear brake lines. Advanced corrosion of brake pipes. With leaking. You see, the idea is the fluid leaks out and then prevents any more corrosion. So this is going to be fun. Now we take a look at where the pipes go into the wheel cylinder. I made the strategic decision yesterday to get new wheel cylinders, because I'm going to be taking the nuclear option with this crap, folks. I'm not even going to try to undo these things properly. In fact, it'll be something of a miracle if I can get any of them to come out. Now the only one that I really need to save, going to be up the top center of your screen there, thanks to my excellent camera work, is that center pipe and the flare nut there on the load sensing valve. So that's the only one I really need to save, because I'm going to remove with extreme violence everything else and replace them with new flare nuts, new wheel cylinders, and new cupronickel brake line. Fun. Fortunately, I have the special tool from Mitsubishi for just these tasks. There we go. Now I have also put a stick on the brake pedal to hold it down a little bit, so hopefully we won't have continuous brake fluid drippage once we get past the initial surge. Now let's get that pipe completely out of there. I think that'll be number one, because I'm going to use this as a template for making the new one, obviously. I'm going to have to get in from this side. Good job, I'm young and agile. There we go. Don't see what was wrong with that pipe, that's fine. Okay. Not so much. Okay, now this guy up here on the load sensing valve, this is our most critical one. I screw this up and we're in a world of pain. So I don't have many fancy tools, but one that I do have, I'll get rid of my hat so I'm not hitting the stupid phone, are these fancy snap-on strip bolt removing sockets. So I'm going to go straight to Mr. Snap here and see if he can assist me in my quest for domination of the flare nut market. Oh, I'm going to need an extension. Of course I do. Okay. Place your bets. Yeah, that's great, Damien. Ha 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 ha. Mr. Snap Off to the rescue. Whew. Okay. Alright, I'm going to apply another Mitsubishi custom tool here. Wow, okay. Wow. Calm yourself there, Mitsubishi Motor Company. Let's try this one. Okay, gonna play. Sure, okay, we can play. Got something moving. Alrighty. So, one thing about a flatbed is it gives you a great workspace. So, got our old stuff stripped off. Got a new pipe made from Q-Pro nickel. Got a new flexi. I'm going to go ahead and get those on. I won't subject you to too much of that stuff. It's all paint by numbers, and there's a lot of people out there who'll show you how to do this kind of stuff a lot better than I can. Alrighty, drum brakes time. Now I really do not heart drum brakes, but hey. So this is our one that is down on braking performance according to Mr. Test. Now my initial kind of idea was maybe with a leaking wheel cylinder. I don't think that's the case. What we do have is a real nasty glaze on both of these shoes. And a matching glaze, I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it, but there's a matching glaze on the inside of the drum. The leading one isn't as bad, but the trailing shoe is in pretty bad order, alright. So I have new wheel cylinders anyway, so I'm gonna pop a wheel cylinder on here simply because it means then I don't have to play roulette with those ridiculous rusted in flare nuts on the back. So I've got my new line in here. I've got a new flexi line. Got the old lines off the diff, the back axle off. So I'm going to strip off these shoes, get this wheel cylinder out, and then we'll see what's good. Wish me luck. Okay, so back of the truck's buttoned up. We have the brakes all done, and this is what I've been at today. We've put in new upper ball joint, which was great because I managed to skull myself on the head with a crowbar during that process. So that was supposed to be the easy job. The hard job was supposed to be doing the wheel bearing, and that turned out to be quite straightforward. So we got new wheel bearing and new upper ball joint. Got to do the same on the other side, which will be tomorrow's job. Now, also we got today are our mudguards. So I got these from a company in Poland called Trailer, and they fit rather well. So I'll try and show you this without looking like a complete moron, which I will of course fail. So I'm the camera on the third, and so I'm going for something like that there, and some mud flaps on the back. So I don't know, probably not going to be able to see that because it is so. That's the mission so far, folks. Yes, this is a fancy tennis player sweatband thing, because we're having some uncharacteristically spring wet weather at the minute. So yes, next week then is going to be what I call the silly jobs, such as the fact that I managed to weld one of the battery brackets over the stamped chassis number. So that's going to be great fun fixing that. So stick with us and you'll see more of it. Truck update. This side, wheel bearing done and upper ball joint done. So that's all the big mechanical jobs knocked out, really. And the next one we're going to be dealing with are these little nasties here. Rust holes on the wings. So they're on both sides, passenger side and driver side. Now, problem really with the location of those is that the only way that I would think about doing a repair on that would be to cut them out and use some fiberglass mat, fill it in, body filler it and sand it down. But our wonderful vehicle testing system won't accept that. So it would have to be a welded in patch. Now again, the problem with this is it would at the very least need me to take the bumper out of here, these plastic kind of arch liners out of here. Realistically, I'd probably need to take the wing off. So kind of said to myself, I'm going to take the wing off. It's not in brilliant condition anyway. It is kind of various on both sides. It's got its fair share of war wounds. So new plan. So picked up a pair of reasonably cheap aftermarket wings. This one I've just scuffed up a bit of 180, and as the saying goes, here's one that I'm currently preparing. The inside of that I'm just hitting with some stone chip spray. There's no need to be fancy with that. Because that won't be seen anyway, and I'll be honest, a bit of stone chip will be it'll be a better job anyway for that. And the side we will be seeing, I've decided to just hitting that with some grey primer that I'd left over. So Orange Peel City. I'll lay a few more coats on that over the next couple of days. But realistically, I'm not going to try to colour match this thing. Now I don't mind doing colour matches, but in the case of the truck, we've got this kind of a two-tone system going on here with the silver and the whatever maroon or whatever colour that is. So me now with my ridiculous painting skills trying to do a two-tone colour match would be absolutely nightmare. So the plan is just going to go with some metallic black. Just going to keep it simple, and I can get that locally as well. I don't need to go to a crowd that does colour matching for me. Now again, you know, these wings, they've got their own fair share of problems, so I think changing them out won't be terrible. I should be able to get away without taking the bumper off. I should be able to just pop it down on one side and get them off, get the new ones on. We'll take this bit of trim off and might give that a little bit of a clean up as well. And you know, who knows, maybe even underneath this they might be rusted out even more. So once we get that one done, we're on to the real fun packed one, because Genius here, you probably won't really be able to see this, but Genius here welded this mounting for the battery over about half of the stamped VIN number in the frame. So we're going to have to make a new plate and probably do a little cutout here and weld that in and get it sanded down flat and that. So that's going to be a great fun job. Alrighty, so left side, guess wheel arch or whatever you want to call it, mudguard and mud flap are done. Haven't done the right side yet because they'll have to do the VIN plate thing. Got our beautifully colour matched wings on both sides. Paint actually turned out great. It's got some nice orange peel on it, which I specialise in. So both of those for aftermarket panels didn't actually turn out too terrible at all. As Mr. Polebarn would say, we got ourselves a solid 20-footer. Okay, 25. And the truck fixing continues. So, in the back, welcome to my kind of bodgery job here that I had done. Some of you may remember that when we mounted the Leaf battery, in here you probably won't be able to see it really, but I had to cut a little section out of the cab in order to let the cables pass underneath. So basically where you see that aluminium plating there, that's where the the high voltage and the BMS cable kind of curve down under the cab. Now what you see there is just some aluminium and polyurethane adhesive. Now you could say, yeah, that's pretty crap. Yeah, I get that. The other part of it is I didn't really want to be going welding around there because of all of this sound deadening and other materials inside the vehicle. But anyway, long, the short and the tall of it is Mr. CVRT doesn't like this, because apparently now that's a structural part of the cab. So mission for today is I'm going to get the back seats out, and I'm going to have to remove this guy and cut out enough of that sound deadening and so on around that hole then, so that we'll be able to weld a patch in there. So yeah, welcome to, I guess I'm calling this one of my silly jobs. So let's see how bad I get on. Now, decided to go ahead and remove this sound deadening here, because there's more of this kind of gel kind of coating on the steel here on the back wall. So I have to get this out. Now, for those of you that might be thinking that is a bit of a bodge job, this isn't just some random bathroom silicone. This is heavy grade polyurethane that's sold under the brand of Tiger Seal in this part of the world, and getting that out of there now will be fun. I accept it's not structural for the cab, but to be honest now, I don't know enough really about these kind of things to know whether this would compromise the cab in the event of a rollover or any other scenario. So maybe folks that do know can leave me a comment on this. But in any event, that's going to be coming out, and then I'm going to make a template. We'll have to clean away a lot of that kind of coating, which will probably have to be taken off with a heat gun and so on. So lots of fun work ahead. Alrighty folks, so got my original plate out of here. Let me go around the other side, might be a bit of a better Might give you a better angle just with the sunlight. So okay, got my original plate out of there. It was just heat gone in a chisel, fairly nasty. So that'll give you an idea of kind of the reason I had to chop that part out of the cab there. There's loads of room behind the seat, so it's not a problem to have a little kind of a doghouse type of thing there. I've cleaned up the metal, just kind of sanded back a reasonably clean edge around that, and just cardboard templates, and there's bits of sheet metal there then to make up our little frame. I think there's like 0.6 or something like that, so it's pretty light steel, but it'll do the job. So I'm going to be getting this welded in. I'm not going to be doing that today because I want to put some weld through primer on all of these pieces of metal, and I want to calibrate the welder as best I can with a few random pieces just to make sure that we're ready to weld. And then I want to get a little squirt bottle of water, so when I'm doing welds here, if something starts smoldering, I can just give it a dart. So yeah, this is kind of, again, the reason I went with the adhesive the first time, because I didn't want to be putting heat in, but there you go. Okay, got my welder's blanket in there covering up the cables and the battery connection. So I'm going to see just how terrible that I can get this guy to tack in here for me. I'll start him. Yes, I'm going to have to start him about here. There we go. Alright, there's an absolutely terrible tack on that there now. And we've already got a fire. Now you know why I don't like welding like this. There's another tack there. It's already starting to go for me. It's got a tack on it there. It's got a grip on it anyway. Folks, you ever get the feeling that your Yellowstone truck hates you? Well, my Yellowstone truck is definitely being testing. So we're just back from our second test, and we got rid of pretty much all of those fails that we've been going through, except for one. The service brake performance needs to be a minimum of 55%, and we were at 51.32%, and we failed again on service brake on the rear axle. Now, you may recall that we've replaced all the components and that there's nothing actually wrong with the brakes themselves. The handbrake puts out tons of braking force. Had a 0% balance, so yay me with the old drum brake adjusting. But the problem is on the hydraulic brake, we're not getting enough braking effort on the rear axle. Now, we had that on the first fail, and I had adjusted the load sensing valve pretty much to maximum with that spring they have on there. And that improved things, but we still don't have enough braking force on the service brake on the rear axle. So I said to myself, okay, looks like I'm going to have to get a new load sensing valve. And so the day I came back from the test, it's a main dealer part, so I rang up my local Mitsubishi dealer, and this is a story that was told to me. It will be 540 euros plus VAT, which is basically 23% tax. So call that, I don't know, 650. Great. And it would take 2 weeks to get here, and they would need payment up front, and it would be a non-returnable part. So I said, let me think about that for 14 milliseconds. No, I'm not going to do that. So called around, did a bit of investigating. Found a kind of a 4x4, an independent 4x4 specialist. And they keep these things on the shelf, and it was €200. So what we have now is shiny new load sensing valve, complete with spring. Now, yes, I know you can get these on AliExpress for less than €50. I have actually one ordered, but of course that's just taking weeks to get here and so on, and I want to try and get the truck on the road so we can go trucking. So what I'm going to be doing now is trying to swap out this load sensing valve. So this is the trials and tribulations of doing conversions that you don't often see. Certainly the cool kids don't show you any of this, even if they do experience it. But this is the, as they like to say, where the rubber meets the road, or in this case where the brakes don't slow your truck down sufficiently. So okay, let's get to it. There's the offender, our old original brake proportioning valve, which, yeah, I will admit, does look like it's been on the Titanic a while. So I'm going to go ahead. You see, I had this guy maxed out. He was about, I'm going to say, like maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the way here. I moved him over there when we did our brake pipe repairs. So what I'm going to do here, these had been replaced before. These are copper lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off, because there's no way those flare nuts are going to break free from those. I'll give them a try, but I'd say it's pretty much a zero chance. But yeah, we'll give them a try. This one will be fine. That's the one I put on last. But then it should be just 2 bolts. Get this thing out of here, get the new one in, and get the system bled, which theoretically is easy. But if I've learned anything with our Mitsubishi friends, there's nothing easy. Well, folks, to my absolute amazement, a little bit of heat and a little bit of spray oil, and these flare nuts here broke loose, no sweat. And so we got all 3 now ready, go on the new valve. So I got to take these fasteners out of here now and take the old valve out of here. Who wants to take bets? Will it A, round off the bolt, B, shear off the bolt, C, strip the treads in here to the point that they're not usable again, or D, come out? I'm going to go for anything but D. I'm going to run it back in a little now. Let's see if we can give it a best possible chance. That. One down. All right, this is bad. Things are going way too easily here. We got to start planning for, or start packing my bug out bag in my bug out truck. Yeah, let's give that another shot around the back if we can. All right, place your bets. Oh, ooh, ooh, got ourselves a hero. We got ourselves a hero, folks. Wow. All right, new one's in. Let's see if we can get our lines reconnected. Come on. decided this old bolt was decided to strip, so I'd clean up the threads with a tap and put a new bolt in there. So that looks to be our malfunction for this job. I'm going to take this bleed screw completely out of the top of this thing here, and we're going to release the bit of stick I have on the brake pedal, and we start getting some paint stripper, brake fluid, coming out of that thing. Well, this is going to show up, but we're dripping brake fluid out of there merrily now. So I'm going to go ahead, get this lead screw back in here. Topped up the master cylinder again. There we go. Let's take him out of there. Take him all the way out of there. Not twist, folks. This wheel cylinder over here is not gravity bleeding now, whereas with the old valve it did. So I'm going to decide, I've decided that's actually good. Because maybe it means there was a leak in that other one or some other scenario. So pump brakes, you guys keep an eye out for bubbles and shout to me when the bubbles stop, okay? How we doing, folks? Oh yeah, getting brake fluid now, alright. I'll give her a couple more pumps. Got that bleed screw tightened up, so next thing I need you folks to give me a hand with, I'm going to be checking that this valve moves when I pump the brake up now. So I'll put the mic up here too to try to help you out. So there you have it, folks. Just an example of what sometimes doesn't get I guess the clicks and the accolades is all the kind of grunt work that it takes to get a vehicle that's been off the road back on the road. So the truck is now passed its CVRT test and we are legal to drive on the roads. That brake load sensing valve thing under the bed, that really threw me for a curveball. I'd never came across one of those before myself. So this is what I mean, you know, when you kind of tackle these things, there's always a learning curve in them. So pretty soon we'll be doing some hauling because of some work going on here on the pig shed and on the property in general. So we'll be hauling stuff on the back of the truck and using the big trailer that we built as well to haul more stuff. So I know some of you will be desperately interested in some energy usage statistics. Well, I've got one for you. 37.3 miles, which I drove yesterday to and from the CVRT testing centre. Use a total of 16.5 kilowatt hours of electricity as measured from the charging point. So you folks can do the maths on that one, and that's all courtesy of our 24 kilowatt hour Nissan Leaf pack that we've under the bed. So that's about it. We'll see you in the next fun packed trucking episode. Got to get myself some kind of trucker clothing, one of those plaid shorts that the Edison Motors dudes have. Would be probably a good place to start, but any tips are of course welcome. This is my first truck, so That's it, folks. We'll see you next time, assuming you're silly enough to tune in for more of this torture. As always, don't forget to give this junk a solid thumbs down so that other people are spared the pain. You know yourself by now if you've managed to get this far. Do check the links in the description for Open Inverter, GitHub and other people's channels that are more interesting than this one. Avoid, obviously, Patreon and PayPal, because then I take your hard-earned cash and put it into stupid projects like this, which is nonsense. So, until next time then, happy microphone clipping.